Nigeria and indeed all over the world. This is Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and you're now tuned into the recap coming to you every Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. Welcome. It is always a pleasure to be here to host and moderate the program. It's another beautiful Saturday evening, and we're coming to you live from our studios in the center of Lagos City. And I hope you're happy to hear my voice, as I am happy to speak to you today. It's about 4 minutes past 4 p.m. We'll be taking this program up until 6 p.m. And of course, at 5 p.m., the phone lines will be open for you to share your opinions, your suggestions, your ideas as well. The recap is that program where we discuss and analyze major issues that trended during the week. And of course, I'm never alone in the studio. I have with me my analyst today for the political analysis segment of the program, and I will be introducing him really shortly. If you're just joining me, not to worry, you haven't missed a thing. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell an enemy that the recap is now live on your favorite dial, Voice of the People 90.3 FM. You're welcome. Today, as always, we'll be looking at quite a number of issues that trended during the week. And like I said, I do have my analyst in the studio sitting right across from me, and you will be hearing his voice very soon. But first up, I'd like to take a brief rundown of the issues which we'll be discussing today, the issues which you will have or need to share your opinions. And first up, Nigerians are not the only ones facing poverty. This is according to President Tinubu. He said Nigerians are not the only ones facing poverty in the world. Inflation is worldwide, food insecurity as well. Like, Nigerians are just not the only ones facing poverty. The question I would have would be, okay, what does this mean? Yes, you're not the only one this is happening to, but am I not allowed to want better for myself? The fact that every other person is facing it, does that mean I have to face it too? Has the Nigerian government put every possible and positive mechanism in place to make sure that Nigerians, even if Nigerians are not the only one facing poverty, that by every measurable metric they have done their best to ensure that the poverty of the citizens is not a fault of the federal government? So when you say Nigerians are not the only one facing poverty, what has the federal government done to ensure that Nigerians are not facing this poverty? Why do we have almost 135 million Nigerians who are multidimensionally poor? Well, my analyst will be answering this question as the program progresses. Moving on, we'll be looking at the Debt Management Office, DMO, saying Nigeria's public debt rose by 24.33 trillion naira in 3 months. Wow, 24.33 trillion naira. This means a public debt has reached 121.67 trillion naira. How can our debt increase by 24 trillion naira within 3 months? There's some amount of money you get to hear, and you know that this is some amount of money that you may not ever get to touch in your lifetime, but you just keep hearing about it. We'll be looking at how this increasing debt is affecting the nation's economy, and also when are we going to pay all this debt? Because personally, I've seen certain, it might come across as cruise, like they call it, or jokes online when people say, oh, if you are to distribute this debt by how many Nigerians we have, every Nigerian is owing a certain amount of money. Please, money we are no borrow and no go pay. Thank you very much. Moving on, we'll be going to Rivers State, where the political imbroglio there seems to be no impasse at all coming anytime soon. There seems to be no respite to the chaos that is happening in the Rivers State polity right now. Well, former Federal Commissioner for Information and revered South leader Chief Edwin Clark has asked the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, to remain in Abuja and leave Governor Fubara and Rivers State alone. Well, he's not the only one. So many people, critics, analysts, and Nigerians alike have been saying, look, you need to get your hands out of the state and let the governor perform his functions as democratically elected governor of Rivers State. What say you, and what says the analyst? Keep listening. We'll get to hear that very soon. And finally, over 200 Chinese companies have shown interest in investing in Nigeria. This is according to Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, who is currently on an official visit to the People's Republic of China. And of course, he communicated this in a statement by his media aide. Over 200 Chinese companies have shown interest in investing in Nigeria. Is this a good thing? Should we be happy about it? When they say they want to invest in Nigeria, does that mean they want to come and build their own industries and factories here? Does it mean they will be investing in Nigerian businesses? Does it mean they will be investing in already made businesses in the country to make it better, bigger? Does this mean we'll be having, trade, some kind of inter-country, interstate trade with China, and how will it help the Nigerian economy? But then, if we're saying over 200 Chinese companies have shown interest in investing in Nigeria, what about the manufacturing companies that are leaving the country? Anyway, all this and more we'll discuss right after this very short break. You're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Chioma Innocent. You are welcome. It's time to welcome my analyst to the program. I did tell you he was sitting right across from me. You know him, some of you love him, and for some of you it's the other way around. His name is Mr. Peter Nasuke, development economist, journalist, and the best-selling author. He's the author of the book Dangote's 10 Commandments on Money. Now, this book was rated as one of the best development books in the world by the Wall Street Journal. And here in Nigeria, it was adopted as a workbook for grooming entrepreneurs by the Small and Medium Scale Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN, which is a federal government agency in charge of small and medium scale businesses in the country. Welcome to today's edition of the recap, Mr. Peter Nasuke.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. It is always a pleasure. So, let's delve right into the several different issues we need to discuss today, starting with Nigeria's president saying the country is not the only one in the world facing poverty. Now, he did admit that there's poverty and suffering in the land, but the challenges will or must be tackled. He's saying one of the ways of tackling them is to eliminate banditry and terrorism so that farmers can return to their farms. What is your take on that, Mr. Peter Nasuke? Can you say we should be happy that the issue with the country has finally been identified by the presidency?
Well, for me, some people were shocked by that statement, but for me, it wasn't a surprise. What Tinubu simply said is that Nigerians should stop complaining because they are not the only one that is suffering from hardship. Understand? Other people are also going through hardship, then why must you complain? That's exactly what Tinubu mean by that statement. It's just like me telling my son, you are not the only one that is hungry. Other children are also hungry. Understand? Which means he shouldn't complain of hunger. Why it is my responsibility to provide food for him. Understand me? Or maybe he told me that he needs that to pay school fees. I said other students have not paid. Therefore, he shouldn't disturb me. So, but as I said, it's not a surprise. Because it is what a leader evolves or emerges from the people. So a leader is a reflection of the people. That is what I should say. Because what we have in Nigeria, we have that's a predatory system of government where those in power don't care. Because right now in the country, we are facing a food inflation, fuel price increase, high import duties, high rent cost, high cost of transportation. Understand? Our naira has been devalued 3 times in the last 1 year and has lost 70% of its value. And this is why the exchange rate has gone very, very high. This is why Naira is funded like a pack of cats. Understand? Today or yesterday, the exchange rate was 1,500. And a president is telling you that you are not the only one that is suffering. So this is the consolation. This is the motivation that one is getting from his president. But I know that a leader and a follower does not think the same way. A leader thinks of solution, while a follower thinks of problems. So Nigerian masses has every right to complain of hardship. Then it is the duty of the president to think of the solution. Understand? And not to tell them, shut up, you are not the only one that is hungry. You are not the only one that is suffering. But the problem that we have, that I keep on saying, is that our problem is not spiritual, as Adeboye said. Adeboye said that Nigerian problem is spiritual. That is hypocrisy at its peak.
His opinion, but you just don't agree that Nigeria's problem is spiritual.
Our problem is physical. And our problem is lack of leadership. Our problem doesn't require any atom of prayer. Whoever is praying for Nigeria problem is wasting his or her time. Understand? Our problem is man-made. It's leadership. And it is a physical problem and requires physical solution. So whoever is telling you that pray for Nigeria is a hypocrite. Anybody that is telling you that Nigeria has a spiritual problem, or that our problem is divine, is hypocrite. Our problem is man-made. Our problem is bad leadership. Once we get our leadership right, things will begin to get right in the country. So Tinubu should not be thinking like a follower. He should be thinking like a leader. And the problem of a leader is solution. A leader should always be thinking of, how do I provide solution to the problems of those that I am leading? That's how a leader thinks. And whoever is not thinking this way is not a leader. And I have said in one program that all that Tinubu needs to do is to go and learn from the president of Argentina, saying that he has discovered the problem of Nigeria is insecurity. No, people care about result. Leadership is result business. Not I have discovered. It is your responsibility to solve it. Everybody knows, even a child of 2-year-old knows that there's insecurity problem in the country. Because he must have been hearing of banditry, kidnapping, and so on and so forth. So Tinubu telling us that our problem is insecurity. He's not telling us anything new. He is telling us what we already know. What Nigerians want is the solution to that problem. I agree quite well that he inherited a dead economy. But he is part and parcel of that dead economy because he was the one that made Buhari president. And for 8 years, he knew that Buhari was mismanaging the economy. He never said anything bad. He allowed it to go because he doesn't want to be on the bad book of Buhari, so that Buhari will not deny him the ticket. So he is part and parcel of what he inherited. But the way forward for him, as I said, he should go and learn from the president of Argentina. Because when the president of Argentina came in, he too inherited a very bad economy. But he did two things. So one, he cut the size of his cabinet by 50%. He cut down the size of his cabinet by 50%. That was number one. He reduced public. He did away with their presidential jets. By doing this, he reduced the cost of governance. So if Tinubu can do this in our economy will begin to breathe again, because right now it is not breathing.
So it's not enough to know the problem. It's to actually take steps to find solution to the problem.
It is not what you know that is important, but what do you do with what you know? Understand me? Everybody knows, but what are we doing with what we know? That's the question. Even somebody, a councillor knows that we have a problem of insecurity. A local government chairman knows that we have problem of insecurity. So that you know is not important. What do you do with what you know? What do you do with what you know? So if Tinubu has wanted to move Nigeria economy, what he would have done is just to cut down expenses. That is what he would have done. And that's what I know that P2B would have also done if he was declared the winner. Because that is the only way to save ourselves from this economic mess. So if Tinubu can today, the constitution said 36 ministers. A dead economy, Tinubu is operating with 47 ministers. For what? So if Tinubu can today reduce his cabinet by 50%, reduce public spending, public expenditure by 50%, reduce the allowances, not salaries. Salary is deception. Understand me? Because what Nigerians are erroneously focusing is on salaries. Those in the National Assembly are taking too much. Salary is nothing. Where the money is in allowances, oversight functions. So if he can be man enough to reduce public expenditure by 50%, then reduce the allowances and salaries of his cabinet and that of the National Assembly, Nigeria economy will begin to breathe again. What next? Reduce insecurity. That's a fight insecurity. Understand me? Even without, you can reduce insecurity without shooting a gun.
How do you do that?
Provide governance. Period. Once people are happy, insecurity will go. Because what causes insecurity? Dissatisfaction, frustration.
With the level that banditry and insecurity in the country has gotten to, do you believe it's still something that good governance can solve? Would good governance make insurgents drop their weapons?
Good governance will make the most hardened person to drop his weapon.
Recall that people who are earning from this insecurity collecting ransoms when they kidnap people. So will good governance actually make them drop these weapons?
It will make them, because one, they are feeding from the anger of the masses, because these people stay in the communities and they know that these communities are not happy with government. So they are not giving that intelligent information to the security agencies. Understand me? So they are not giving government that the information that will expose these bandits, because they are not happy with the government, because government has neglected them. government is not taking care of them, then why must you help government? But once there's good governance, people will begin to help governments. People will begin to see government as their own. Today, you see people vandalizing government properties. They will not care because they are not benefiting anything from that government. But if they are benefiting, they will see government properties as their own. So good governance can reduce insecurity.
You're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Chioma Innocent, and the voice you've been listening to belongs to Peter Anosike, development economist, acclaimed author, journalist, political, social, and national affairs analyst. And we have been talking about the several different issues that trended during the week, which make the bulk of the topics we discuss. On the recap, we've been talking about the president saying Nigerians are not the only ones facing poverty. Moving on in the conversation today, we'll be looking at the Debt Management Office saying Nigeria's public debt rose by 24.33 trillion naira in 3 months. Now, Nigeria's total public debt has reached 121.67 trillion naira. It increased by 24.33 trillion naira within 3 months. This is according to the DMO. The new figure is from a total debt of 97.34 trillion naira as of December 2023. Now, the public debt, which comprises of total domestic and external debt of the federal government, that's state government, and the federal capital territory. Mr. Anosike, this is quite a number. This is an amount that many Nigerians will not see in their lifetime, and it's not even a curse. 24.33 trillion naira in 3 months. What did Nigeria do to get this kind of debt in just 3 months?
When you are not producing, the only alternative is to keep on borrowing. When you are not producing, when you are not growing your economy, your wealth, the only alternative is to keep on borrowing. And this is what Buhari did for 8 years. Always borrowing. And that's, nothing that I will say under Tinubu that will be a surprise. It is expected. Because in 2023, Tinubu vowed to reduce the country's reliance on borrowing and debt services, which currently consumes 90% of government earning. 2023.
That was just last year.
Tinubu vowed to reduce Nigerians' reliance on borrowing. Understand? Because over 90% of our revenue is used in debt servicing. But after saying that, even with this thing that you see, there are still borrowing to be done in this 2024, about $4.4 billion. There are still borrowing to be done in 2025. And this is a man who said in 2023 that he vowed that we must reduce the country's reliance on borrowing and debt servicing. Understand? In that 2023, this is what he said. He said we cannot continue to with 90% of our revenue. It is a path to destruction. It is not sustainable. We must make the very difficult change that are necessary for our country to get up from slumber and be respected among the great nations of the world. That's what Tinubu said in 2023. I want to make a repeat. We cannot continue to service external debts with 90% of our revenue. It is a path to destruction. It is not sustainable. We must make the very difficult changes that are necessary for our country to get up from slumber and be respected among the great nations of the world. Somebody who made this statement in 2023 is the person that borrowed 24 trillion within 3 months in 2024. So how do you say this? How can you trust such people? When they will say a different thing and do a different thing. When they don't practice what they preach. So, but even when he was saying this, I know that it is just, it is, I told myself, talking is cheap. Because there's nothing he can do except to borrow. And again, tax the Nigerian masses. That is why his minister said that taxes has become Nigeria's major source of revenue. That's what his minister of finance said, that taxes has become his country's major source of revenue. Why KPMG, an American auditing firm based in New York, told Nigerian government that no country can tax itself to greatness. KPMG told the Tinubu's administration that this their taxing cannot grow the economy. Taxing cannot grow the economy. Borrowing cannot grow the economy. So now, children that will be born in 100 years to come in Nigeria are already in debt. Children that will be born in 100 years to come in Nigeria are already in debt. And this debt started from the APC administration. Recall that under Obasanjo, Okonjo-Iweala cancelled our debt. So it is Buhari who does not know next to nothing about governance that put us into this mess that we are in. And Tinubu continued from it. Imagine where you are using 90% of your revenue in debt servicing. Which one are you going to use to build the infrastructure? Which ones are you going to use for capital projects? And
so at the same time, Nigerians are facing this heavy burden of debt and also overtaxation. That's the thing. So, and as I said, with what you read out now, Tinubu is still going to borrow $4.4 billion within the next few months. They have also marked out money to borrow in 2025. So, which means before Tinubu leaves office, Nigeria debt might be going to 500 trillion naira. One question is the countries, or rather the World Bank, which keeps disbursing this debt, can they not get to a point where they'll say, okay, you're owing us too much and we can no longer give you this, both the World Bank and every other country that Nigeria borrows from? Well, the loans are being serviced. Understand me? For the layman, what does it mean to service a loan? If you borrow money from bank, they can tell you, maybe you borrowed 100,000 from bank. They can be telling you that you should be servicing it with 10,000 naira every month. Understand until me? You pay the full amount that you're owing. So you are the one that is that, because within a few years the servicing will be even more than the money that you have borrowed. So at the end of the day, you still pay the money. The borrower has no advantage at all. No advantage. So servicing a debt is you continue paying. It's kind of like compounded interest at the end of every month or the stipulated time you've agreed with the lender. Remitting, understand me? Understand? But that does not go towards counting to the debt that is still yet to be paid. Or the debt is still there. That the main money is still there. You are just servicing. So you might actually end up paying in servicing more than the debt that you owe. That's how it always works. If that is the case and the Nigerian government knows this and the president's economic team and his advisors know this, why then do we keep towing the path of borrowing? What will it take for, I know I've asked this question before, for Nigeria to become a producing nation, for us to no longer rely heavily on imports? It's almost as if imports, especially of food, has been criminalized. The last I read, it was on almost a 70% custom duty on food imports. Well, they are punishing Nigerians because Nigerians are not farming. Fulani herdsmen are in all the forests in the country. Understand me? So
farmers are not farming, and you are increasing food imports, you are killing Nigerians. That is what it means. But I want to correct something here. It is not wrong to borrow. Understand? The question is, when you borrow, what do you do with it? Understand me? When you borrow, what do you do with it? Nigerian government borrow and share. Instead of borrow to grow the economy and from the economy pay back. Understand me? Assuming the money that they are using for the Lagos Calabar road, the 16 billion done, I think, if they put it in the energy sector, it will give Nigerians steady power supply. And with that, they can pay that loan. So if you borrow and put into infrastructure, that will at the end generate money to pay the loan, it's a good idea. But these people borrow and share. Understand me? So at the end of the day, the debt hangs. Then they will now be taxing the innocent masses. With that, they will be servicing the debt, which means you keep on borrowing and borrowing because you are not producing anything. So this thing is going to continue for a very, very long time, unless there's a magic that will be made and or the Fulani herdsmen will be chased out of the forest, and Nigerian farmers will begin to farm. And again, our power supply will become stable, and the businesses will begin to develop. That is the only way. Apart from it, his only source of revenue will continue to be borrowing and taxing the overtaxed masses.
And until then, Nigerians will continue to bear the brunt over these more or less bad decisions.
Well, for me, Nigerian capacity to endure is the highest in the world. Nigerians can endure anything.
And is that necessarily a good thing?
It's docility. Nigeria is a very docile country, a very weak country. I know in UK, when the price of bread was increased by 2 pence, London was shut down. There was a mass protest in UK because price of bread increased by 2 pence. But here, if they begin to sell fuel at 1,000 naira per litre today, Nigerians will still buy as if nothing happened. So that's why government has read the psychology of our people. And that's why they are doing this thing and getting away. It cannot happen in any other country anywhere on earth.
You're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Chioma Innocent, and the voice you just heard belongs to Mr. Peter Nasike, development economist, acclaimed author, political, social, and national affairs analyst. And we are discussing right here on the recap issues that made major headlines during the week. Moving on in the conversation, let's because of our time, as much as I want to actually dwell on that topic, but because of our time, we need to move forward to topic number 3, and that is Rivers State. Wike should remain in Abuja and leave Governor Fubara and Rivers State alone. This is coming from the former Federal Commissioner for Information and South leader Chief Edwin Clark. He's saying Wike should remain focused and concentrate on the nation's capital, which is Abuja, because he has a lot to do, and he should leave Rivers State Governor Similalayi Fubara and the people of the state alone. In what he stated this during an interview with television station earlier in the week, but he accused the former Rivers State Governor and the immediate past Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi and his successor as the mastermind of what he described as politics of madness in Rivers State. Ever since this Rivers State political chaos has been happening, not many people have mentioned the name of former Governor Rotimi Amechi. Would you say he has anything to do with it, like Chief Clerk is presupposing?
Well, Amechi is one of those that put this country in this mess.
The whole country, not just Rivers State.
Rotimi Amechi they come to APC and funding Buhari's campaign in 2014 is what put us into this mess. So I have no sympathy for him. He's one of the problems with this country. But I said this week that some Wike should be held responsible for the mayhem in Rivers State, because I said that what we are seeing in Rivers State is the voice of Jacob and hand of Esau. That's what we are seeing in Rivers State. So it is Wike's voice that is causing that mayhem. Understand? My question has always been, what is difficult for him in facing his job in Abuja? What is so difficult for Wike to face what he is doing in Abuja? He has been rewarded for betraying his party. He has been rewarded for betraying Atiku Abubakar. He has been rewarded for betraying a PDP. Then let him face his responsibility in Abuja and leave Fubara alone. But he wants to be in Abuja and also control Rivers State. It must not happen. It must not happen. So what they want, because he has seen what is happening, and he felt that the only way that he can get what he wants is for them to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State.
How would that benefit him?
When there's a state of emergency, the federal government takes over. Understand me? Federal government takes over. But he has forgotten that state of emergency under Olusegun Obasanjo is different from state of emergency now, because the laws have been amended. Under Obasanjo, if there's a state of emergency, the governor goes out and the military and an administrator will be appointed. But that law has been amended. So what he wants to do is to frustrate Fubara, so that by 2027 they will say that he didn't do much. Therefore, he shouldn't go for second term. That's the game there. Because what is suffering in Rivers State today is governance. That is what is suffering in Rivers State. It is the masses and governance that are suffering in Rivers State because of one man. So what he said is the truth. Wike should focus on his responsibility in Abuja and allow Fubara to govern Rivers State.
Now, if you notice, Wike hasn't been saying much about the crisis, even with everything that happened in the past week, the violence, the local government council chairman trying to resume even after their tenure had elapsed. He really hasn't said anything about it.
That's why I said that what we are seeing in Rivers State is voice of Jacob but hand of Esau.
So you feel like he is instigating his supporters.
He is the mastermind. He is the mastermind. He is behind. He is funding them.
And that's why I asked how. But you feel he's instigating his supporters against the current governor?
Go and read what happened in Port Harcourt. That's on Monday. Somebody said that they have come to take over the secretariat because they are pro-Wike somebody says so. Understand me? So he is without him motivating them, they will have fizzled out since. Without Wike motivating those touts, they will have fizzled out things. But they have somebody that is giving them the fuel to be doing what they are doing. And again, what is happening in Rivers State is exactly what is happening in Kano State. Judicial rascality, judicial embarrassment. Understand? And this is the product of APC. This started when APC removed the CGN Onenegan and then put this Tanku. From Tanku to Ariwanda, that was when the Nigeria judicial system took a dive. That was when the Nigeria judicial system became a mess. We now have a caricature of a judiciary. Because it is a fact that local government is not under the federal government.
But under the state government.
Under the state. That is why it is the State Electoral Commission that organizes elections for the local government and the councillors, not the national INEC. Which means they are by law under the governor. Understand? It is the governor that conducts election for local government. It is the governor that appoints transition committee chairmen or caretaker committee chairmen, not the presidency. So what ruling? And again, the Supreme Court has ruled on this issue of tenure extension. That tenure extension is illegal. Then why is Nigeria police still occupying local governments in Rivers State? Saying that they are waiting for judgment from the appeal court. And mind you, appeal court is still lower than the Supreme Court. So can you see what is happening? We are now, Somalia is now far more organized than Nigeria. Somalia is now far more organized than Nigeria. Afghanistan is far more organized than Nigeria. There's a judgment from the Supreme Court that tenure elongation is null and void. And again, there's also a High Court ruling in Port Harcourt that annulled the so-called extension than those impostors did. And police is saying that they are waiting for appeal court judgment. For what?
Are you insinuating that the police is complicit?
They are complicit. There's no two ways about it. They are because what is happening in Rivers State is pure state matter. What is happening in Rivers State is pure state matter.
So you feel there is no need for the government at the federal level to get involved?
The reason why they are getting involved is because they are very idle.
Or because the minister who's serving in the federal cabinet is more or less, quote unquote, part of it?
They are getting involved because they are idle. And the Nigeria police, if they are thinking, they will have withdrawn those people. There are insecurities everywhere, and they are sending people to go and guard, stay in front of local governments. That's why we heard that deaf and dumb, we are recruited into the Nigeria police force. That shows you what we are getting in this country. So unless they want Nigeria to become a banana country. If not, Tinubu should call his men to order. Tinubu should call Wike to order to focus on his job in Abuja. Tinubu should call Egbeteoku to order to remove those policemen in those local governments. Because what is happening there is not a federal government issue. It doesn't concern the federal government. A governor has the right to conduct local government election. A governor has the right to appoint caretaker committee chairman for the local government. Some governors don't even conduct local government election for the whole of their tenure. And the hell does not fall. Understand me? So what is their business? Again, in Kanu, we have what is known as local government and chieftaincy affairs as a ministry under the state government. So this shows you that anything chieftaincy is not federal but state. So what right has the Federal High Court in Kanu in a case of a traditional this thing? So this shows you the kind of judiciary that APC has brought into this country. In the past, judges are highly revered. Understand? Judges are highly regarded. But today, anybody that is respecting a judge in Nigeria don't know what is happening. Anybody that is respecting a judge in this country, for me, I regard them the way I regard the touts on Lagos roads.
You're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People on 90.3 FM. Because of our time, let's move on to our final topic for the day. The recap is that program where we discuss and analyze some of the major issues that trended during the week. And of course, the voice you've been hearing belongs to our political analyst, Mr. Peter Anosike. We have discussed about the president saying Nigerians are not the only ones facing poverty. From there on, we talked about the Debt Management Office saying Nigeria's public debt rose by 24.33 trillion naira in 3 months. And we just talked about Chief Edwin Clark, who is a former Federal Commissioner for Information and the South-South leader, saying Wike should remain in Abuja and leave Fubara and River State alone. And right now, we'll be going to looking at our final topic, which is Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, who is currently on an official visit to the People's Republic of China, and has said that over 200 Chinese companies have shown interest in investing in Nigeria. When I was introducing this topic earlier, Mr. Peter Anosike, I asked the question, how real can this be? Because this is not the first time we're getting an information that turns out to be false from a federal government official. But not just that, we have manufacturing companies leaving the country. Would over 200 Chinese companies actually be willing to come invest in the country? If they're investing, are they building up their own companies, their own manufacturing outfits, or are they investing in already existing Nigerian businesses? What would it be?
No, this is rare. This is rare because it is only Chinese that can come. Understand me? It is only Chinese that can. I know Bayo Ononoga would want to escalate this. It is only Chinese that will come because Chinese always go to crooked countries. Understand me? Chinese cannot go where things are working properly.
When you say crooked, what do you mean?
Corrupt, complicit countries.
Why is that, and how does it benefit them?
Because they don't do legal businesses. They are crooks. They are rogues.
Isn't that generalization of a people which we always talk against?
So it is only Chinese that can come to an economy like Nigeria. British people cannot come. Americans cannot come. Germans cannot come. It is only Chinese that can come because they know how to evade the law. They know how to manipulate things. Assuming that I have heard that 200 Britons say that they will come, I will say that it is a lie. Understand me? Assuming that I had heard that 200 Chinese Americans say that they will come, and I will say that it is a lie. But for China, it is true. It is true because the system in Nigeria favors them. They can evade tax. Go Lagos as a whole. Go to Ogun and see where you will see a Chinese company, their signboard. They don't put out signboard because they don't do genuine businesses. Understand me? They can tell you that we are coming to manufacture radio. Within 6 months, another dangerous thing is going on in that factory. So it is only Chinese that can come to an economy like Nigeria because it favors them. They are crooked people. They don't do genuine business.
Basically, what you're saying is when Nigerians hear, oh, over 200 Chinese companies are showing interest in
they should cry. They should cry.
They should not be happy about
it.
They
should cry. They should cry. Those Asians, Chinese, Indians, they don't do genuine businesses. So it is a shame that the minister is sending this information that 200 Chinese. Why not tell us that 200 that 5 Britons, 5 Americans, those people in civilized countries cannot come because our business environment cannot favor them. Understand? Because their books are upright, but Chinese does clandestine business, secret business. You can never see their book. Tax, they don't pay. Understand me? Even salaries, they don't pay. So it is our economy that will favor them. That's why when Guinness wanted to exit, it was turnaround. Understand? That they sold their business to. Because turnaround knows our business environment and they can manipulate. Understand me? So for the people, for the Tinubu administration, for Bayo Ononoga, it is a very good news. But for Nigerians, it is shameful. It is shameful that only Chinese have accepted coming to invest in this country. Qatar energy minister said that they are not ready to invest in this country. Understand me? So he must have put out that information for Nigerians to celebrate. But I'm telling him and Bayo Ononoga that it is very, very shameful that only Chinese has agreed to come and invest in our crooked economy because they do crooked businesses.
How can we make our economy more attractive for investment from all of these people and places who you feel do better and more genuine businesses?
One, transparent justice system. Understand me? I cannot go to a country where if I have a case, I cannot get justice in the court. Understand me? I cannot go to a country where justice is being manipulated. Judges are corrupt, complicit, and compromised. British people cannot go there. Americans cannot go there. Europeans cannot go there. It is only Asians, Chinese, and Indians that can go to such country. That's number one. Upright justice system, because in Nigeria we don't have any justice system. Then number two, energy supply. Understand? Energy contributes over 30% of overhead cost in any business. With our infrastructure is dead. Understand? Then corruption on the part of governments. You say you want to build a road with your own money. They will tell you, come and pay us so and so amount before you build a road that will benefit your business and the people. Then inconsistency in policies. Understand? So many things. So before Europeans and the Americans begin to come to invest in this economy, it's going to take generations. It is going to take generations. I don't think that any serious-minded businessman will come and invest in an APC-controlled administration, federal government.
You're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. It is almost exactly 5 p.m. right here on the recap. And remember, 5 p.m. is that time where you can call in to share your thoughts, your opinions, your ideas on the several different issues which we have discussed today. We will go on a very, very, very short break. And when we return, the phone lines will be open so that you can share your opinions, your ideas, and your suggestions with us. You're still listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. If you're just joining us, you have missed quite a whole lot. But when we return from this short break, we'll take a very short recap of the topics we've discussed today on the recap. Stay with us.
This is the station that gives you a voice.
How can you be jubilating when judgment has not been given? Meaning that you are bribing the judicial.
You see a lot of young Nigerians who are leaving the country in droves. They are running away to escape poverty. They are not looking at this issue, and I think Nigerians should rise. Many families and properties have been destroyed. Accountability is one of the things that is lacking in governance in this country.
Speak with no hindrance.
Chapter 4, Section 39 of the Nigerian Constitution, Right to Freedom of Expression and Press states, every person shall be entitled to the freedom of expression, including freedom to hold opinions and to receive and impart ideas and information without interference.
Now you have a voice. Voice of the People, 90.3 FM.
Welcome back. You're still listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM, the number one station that gives you a voice. We make sure that you have a voice. And yes, we are back. We're streaming live on YouTube, so you can head on over to YouTube to put faces to the names. Yes, head on over to YouTube and just type into the search bar VOP 903 FM and you can get to see what's going on right here in the studios. So connect with us. Would like to connect with you. It's about time for you to call in, but before I call out the phone lines which you have to call today, I would like to just take a brief rundown of the issues which we have discussed this evening. We started with the issue of the president saying Nigerians are not the only ones facing poverty. And then we talked about Nigeria's public debt rising by 24.33 trillion naira in just 3 months. Then we talked about Chief Edwin Clark saying Wike should remain in Abuja and leave Fubara and River State alone. And finally, we just talked about over 200 Chinese companies showing interest in investing in Nigeria, according to Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister, Ambassador Yusuf Toga, who visited the People's Republic of China and communicated this in a statement by his media aide. So when you call in, let your contributions, your opinions, your suggestions be on any of these 4 topics. Remember to keep it civil, keep it polite. Don't use abusive language. Don't use curse words. And please, just let's have your own opinion. No matter what any other person says, it is their own opinion. All right. Thank you so much for adhering to these. And drum roll, the phone lines are open. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. On WhatsApp, it's 0817 175 6338. 0817 175 6338. Call me up. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Thank you for holding on.
Yeah, good evening, Chioma.
What is your name and location, please?
For real, for more of it.
For real. Well, thank you for calling me for real. Let's hear from you quickly.
Barrister Ben, good evening, sir.
Yes,
Hello?
that's Mr. Noske. He can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so that man is a bomb. Sorry to say this. That man is a bomb. That man is a bomb. That man is. In fact,
what does that mean?
That man is of international level. That man is not even. That man is not a Nigerian. I don't think that man is a Nigerian. I feel ashamed when somebody like Peter Enosike, like Mr. Peter Enosike, should be living in an APC country. You know, it's not unfortunate anyway.
Do you want to take him out of the country?
I wish to, if I had the opportunity to, I would like to. So what I want to say is that there's something he says that I want him to clear to me. You know, he talked about Nigerians being docile. Fine, it looked as if we Nigerians are docile, but he didn't check the fact. I know I tried to contradict him, but he didn't check one other angle that over time, this our present government and subsequent government that have come, so period government that have come and gone, they've been able, they have achieved this thing of being able to handicap the masses. You cannot come outside and protest. Nigerians are hardworking people now. Everybody knows that. The whole world knows that. Nigerians are intelligent people. Nigerians are very formidable people. Nigerians are people that can come out and, but in spite of the fact that government are being able to buy some few youths over, so but we still have a lot of Nigerians. I've got some platforms that so many platforms that talk matter. So I hear youths of Nigerians speak. I feel them. So the thing is that they've handicapped us with the military. You cannot come outside now if you want to protest on one thing. Before you know it, they'll start shooting guns. NSAS is an example. So before that answer will go off our head, if you take time, if you take donkey years, because people that died in NSAS in the name of protesting, they've gone. So I want him to talk about that angle. How can we be protected, or how will we be protected in this kind of the judiciary cannot protect you, the policeman cannot protect you if you are fighting against the government, the military cannot protect you if you are fighting against the government. So what's really going on? And the Nigerians, they are still facing what they are saying. They are still facing what we are facing. I don't know the chemistry behind this thing. I don't know the magic. Those people at the top, at the end of affairs, I don't know the magic they use on these people, on the judiciary, on the police, and on the military, as in the soldiers and the rest of them. What kind of magic do they use on them, or what kind of juju do they use on them? That they themselves, the citizens of this country, they are facing the same hardship are facing. And the masses want to go and add their view about what you are passing through, they will still be against us, killing us, shooting us, or whatever. So please, I would like him to talk about this at this convenient time anyway. Thank you, Shoma.
Thank you so much for real for calling, and I want to believe you gave us your opinions for real. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That is a number to call to be a part of the conversation. Remember to keep it polite and keep it civil. Welcome to the conversation. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
What is your name and your location, please?
Calling from Abulabu.
Okay. He can hear you, Mr. Nonye. Please proceed. We're finding it difficult to hear you. But 1 minute, please.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening.
You have to call me back, Mr. Nonye. I'm so sorry. I was really, really straining my ears to hear you. Welcome to the conversation. Good evening. Thank you for holding on. Hello there. I've picked your call. Good evening. Are you there and can you hear me? Good evening. All right. Give me a call back. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello.
Hi. What's your name and location? Please turn down the volume on your radio set.
Okay. My name is CY from Elasa Maja.
Welcome, CY. Let's hear from you quickly.
Yes, what I want to say that our president have already told us that there's no more strike in Nigeria, there's no more riot in Nigeria, because he's the one sponsoring those things during the time of others.
Good evening. Welcome to the recap.
Chairman, good evening.
What's your name and location, please?
Yeah, this is Joval. Mr. Peter, I greet you over there.
He can hear you. Thank you for calling, Mr. Joval.
Say that Mr. Peter just made it clear. The judiciary of this country, in fact, they have allowed themselves to be politicized. They've allowed politicians to leave their own paths in the arm of government and sweep into judiciary. Judiciary used to be the hope of the last or the common man. Now they've turned it to look like it is the last hope of the highest bidder, which is not supposed to be so. If not, they expected that the judge that handled that case in Kaduna would have quickly thrown that case out. But since that did not happen, who am I? But it's good. Things are happening like this. They make themselves an easy buy for politicians to play with them. They desecrate the office of the judiciary, and that is not too good. Now, on River State, it is very clear. Fubara is now the man in charge. What Wike is trying to do there is to pull Fubara down. I don't know whatever agreement that they had for, but it's obvious that...
Are you there and can you hear me? Oh dear, you seem to be experiencing network constraint. Can you hear me? Hello? All right, give me a call back. I definitely want to hear from you. 0700 903 903 903. Call me up. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello.
Welcome to the recap. What's your name and location, please?
My name is John, and I'm chief from Mikoto.
Welcome, John. Let's hear from you quickly.
I want to thank Mr. Anotike for he have said it all. I don't have much to say. And if we have a person like Mr. Anotike and Barrister Darlington in this country, if we have like about 5 of them or 10 of them, I think there's going to be a lot of change, because I can see a lot.
Are you there, Mr. John?
People just keep silent.
Okay.
Huh?
Yes, I'm with you.
A lot of people just keep silent. What is going on in this country? A lot of things are going wrong, and everybody keeps silent as if they don't know what is going on. People are dying silent. And when I remember when Tinubu, before he entered this 2023, how he went to Ojota and protesting against Janata. Then now no one can come out and do so. It's like they cage everybody, and they don't want anybody to express their view. But let's see how it goes, because I know it will not continue like this. One day to be over. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your call. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Are you there? I have picked your call. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. All right, 0700 903 903 903. Call me up. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Please turn down the volume of your radio set.
Is that Chema?
Yes, this is Chema. What's your name and location?
Chema.
Yes, you're on to VOP 90.3 FM. Welcome. What's let's hear from you quickly.
Yes, we kind of can do.
He can hear you.
Thank you.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay. Chema, this issue of if we come out, they will kill us. Every time people will come up to propose that this thing, and if we come out, they will kill us. But in all the whole world, you saw people who are supporting Gaza in various countries all over the world. So many people wounded, so many people injured, so many people died. So I don't know why we always come out that, if we protest, they will kill us, they will not kill. No, I have not seen any country that came out to protest and then there were no injuries and no deaths. Look at what is happening in Kenya now. Did you see Kenya? Did you see the Kenya, how they are pouring them hot water, the containerized water, how they are fighting, making sure that he remove that tax. The president, that's how a country like this should work. Nigeria is not working. Nigeria, what are you sharing? I'm 64 today. If you call me out, I'm going to fight. I'm going to protest. I'm 64. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know what is happening. Where are our youth? Our youth.
They bribe you with 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira, and then you leave this situation to continue to go ahead. This situation, these people are enjoying. The National Assembly people are enjoying. The lawmakers are enjoying. Our judiciary, all of them put together, they're enjoying. Then the poor masses of 200 and something million are suffering and smiling. Mr. Nosike, do you believe that nobody can drink tea again in Nigeria? Tea. You know Milo, the smallest Milo, such as Milo. Nobody. And then you say, we will die. Who will die? Let us start it. We will die. So many people die. A lot of people will die, others to live. That is how it is. Choma, good afternoon.
Thank you so much for your call. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Yeah, Choma, please, I'm sorry. This network is bad, but let me quickly say what I wanted to say.
In a minute, please. Joval, are you there? All right, you might have to give me a call back again. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call to be part of the conversation. 0700 903 903 903. Call me up. Remember to keep it civil and keep it polite. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello.
What's your name and location, please?
Good evening, Chema. Good evening. My name is Chuka. I'm calling from Ayobo.
Welcome, Mr. Chuka. Let's hear from you quickly.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the good work you and Mr. Nosike have been doing. We appreciate it. We sincerely appreciate GOP for giving us listenership. You know, I want to politely ask Mr. Nosike, your book, 10 Commandments of Money, will it be available at the anniversary program? Maybe you'll tell us later.
You know what? Send a message to the WhatsApp line and we'll respond to you on how to get the book. All right?
Okay, great. Okay, but let me make my contribution.
Please go ahead in a minute.
You know, you always ask callers to be civil with their input. I also want to beg my beloved brother. He has the cerebral capacity to be an analyst. But sometimes we draw daggers, but we don't use them. We can draw daggers and use none. And like Rufai would say, President Tinubu, I think he can give him that respect. Because it may amount to a kind of ethnic bias. You know, I'm Igbo like him. But sometimes you give people respect because of their office. And then I think it is somehow without tact when you begin to classify all Chinese and Indians in a crooked. I don't think it is good for public radio. I've worked with some of them, and it is Nigeria that makes them capable of compromising us. It's Nigerians, not themselves. You can't go to China and misbehave. They will arrest the person on the port. So I think we should be civil when we are addressing other countries or even Mr. President. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your call. Ms. Anoske, you have been called. I would like to get your response to that.
Well, I have also worked with some Chinese and some Indians. Understand? That it is wrong to paint everybody with one brush. Understand? But in philosophy, that's what is called a deductive inference. So that's what I used in saying what I said.
If the majority is like this, then everybody is like that.
So
but the same we say we can't paint everybody with one brush.
Yes, but I say in talking about the Chinese and the Indians, I use a deductive inference. And it's not about only me that feels that way about Chinese. Majority of Americans feel that way. Majority of Britons feel that way.
They told you so.
I have my contacts everywhere.
All right, you're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Call me up. We are discussing the issues that made major headlines during the week. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening.
What's your name and location, please?
It's me, I
do know. But it's always wonderful to identify yourself for other callers to know. Let's hear from you quickly, Nimeka.
All right. I'm going to keep the well done job, my brother. Well done job. Chioma, please, this 24 trillion, if I'm not mistaken, please, There, 1 billion up to 100 make 1 trillion, isn't it? Please. They consume this up to 24.
In 3 months.
I'm urging all the Nigerians, if you do not speak out this time around, and you wake up one day, they will be shuttling you your life, taking your life to pay them. Don't blame anybody. Because I can, under 1 year, 24 trillion. What are they using the money for? And everybody is complaining for hunger at north to the centre, south, east, west, and north. Everywhere, people are complaining for hunger. Where is the money? These people, they should be. What kind of problem is this, Choma? 24 trillion naira under 1 year.
Unnameka.
Sir.
It's not 1 year, 3 months. 3 months.
3 months only. Oh God! That means we have finished with that. They not finish us.
Thank you, Nemeka. Thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you so much for your contribution. 0700 903 903 903. That is a number to call to be a part of the conversation. 0700 903 903 903. The WhatsApp number is 0817 175 6338. 0817 175 6338. Again, 0817 175 6338. Call me up. Turn down the volume on your radio set, please. Good evening. Hello? Please turn down the volume of your radio set and then give me a call back, okay? Please, that is basic radio etiquette. If you don't turn down the volume of your radio set, it'll be very difficult for us to have a wonderful conversation. So please, and please always turn down the volume on your radio set before you give us a call, all right? Thank you for holding on. Thank you so much for holding on. I'm so sorry. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Yes, thank you, Larry. Number one on the.
Hello, can you hear me? This person is calling on WhatsApp and is experiencing network issues. Can you hear me?
Thank you very much.
Yes, what's your name and location? What's your name and location?
It's Ola from Surulere.
Welcome, Mr. Ola. Can you hear me? Hello? You're calling on WhatsApp, so I believe that's why you're experiencing network situations. If you can call us directly, I believe that would be so much better. 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
What's your name and location?
This is Apostle David Bassi from Satellite Town, Lagos here.
Welcome, Apostle. Let's hear from you in a minute or two.
Honestly speaking, I want to appreciate Mr. Anosike. He's one person Nigeria is looking up to for now. I appreciate him so well because he has the data of these cabals in his hands. And he has so spoken that the nation Nigeria can be changed by his ideas and findings. Honestly speaking, I also know the way he knows that Chinese are crooked people. The common man.
Keep it polite, keep it civil, Apostle. Keep it polite and keep it civil, okay? Please, no hasty generalizations. Sanosuke is still being dragged for that.
So, what we are saying is that the children that works in Chinese company are laboring so hard and they eat a little. Their salary is nothing. They work from 6 to 8 sometimes overnight, and yet they come back worn out and nothing. So this man is one person Nigeria should be celebrating. And I pray that Lord should bring more to make them like 5 or 10 so that we can be hearing them and Nigerian youths will wake up to the call of serving this nation. Thank you, sir. God will bless you.
Thank you, Apostle, so much for calling. 0700 903 903 903. 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. We are discussing quite a number of topics right here on the recap. And of course, we would love to get your opinion, your suggestions, and your ideas on each of these different topics. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello, Chairman.
What's your name and location, please?
Evening. This is Dara from Famba. Mr. Aluseke, my journalist of the year. Good evening, sir. Well done, sir.
He can hear you. Please go ahead.
Hello. Now,
I can hear you.
Before you, I want to ask a question now. Before you enrolled as a journalist in VOP station, I believe you were. They had to screen you. They had to check your certificates, your background, where you have worked before, the school that you went to, and every other thing.
Well, that's normal and customary.
So now, can you say for that of your president, it wasn't examined by INEC and judiciary? They said they overlooked this certificate and every other thing. So when you talk about working experience, they said he did something in Lagos, but you can see from Jack Conde, you can make reference of Jack Conde, you can make references of Marua, you can make references of Fashola and Ambody, the infrastructure and every other thing. But can you say that of your president? No. So that's why we are in this mess. And because of that, because of the basic things that they did not do is background check and every other thing, and that's why we are in this mess. So that is for that aspect. Then as for the judiciary, like I used to say, it's more or less like cash and carry. Is the highest bidder that wins cases in Nigeria now. It's not about the common man. You cannot get justice for the common man again. It's more or less like the highest bidder, loyalty in a cash and carry, objection and mutual. Everybody gets agenda with their mercenary enterprise.
We do have judges that uphold the tenets of the law and always give justice.
Let me tell you, it's more or less like ATC thing. If it's more or less like the highest bidder wins cases in Nigeria, you can't get justice. And there's a saying that when there is no justice, there can never be peace. And that's why we are having all this turbulence in, Kano and River State now. And that's why we are in this mess. So, let me end this saying by, Beautiful Nubia. He says, lately when we see them, they talk about change. They say they are turned to be leaders of the people. Tell them I have been there many times before, and no one can deceive me with running mouth again. Lately, when we see them preaching to the crowd, the true test of a leader is to lead right in front and be responsible when things go wrong. Leaders now for action, not be for excuses. You can see that your presidents are making excuses.
Okay, Dayo. Thank you so much, Dayo. Thank you so much.
They don't have anything to offer. So the next 3 years, Nigerians should just brace up for the worst things. That's what I have to say.
Thank you, Dayo, for your call. Dayo speaks the same way he writes, and that's why he accuses me most of the time and says, "You don't read my message to the end." No vex. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Hello, are you there? What's your name and location, please?
Yeah, my name is Stanley from Yanakwaja.
Welcome, Mr. Stanley. Let's hear from you quickly.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to correct this thing about what is 1 trillion. It is 1 billion into 1,000 that makes a trillion.
It's like you want to give Nemeka high blood pressure.
1 billion into 1,000 is 1 trillion. So times 24. That's what it makes. Then the issue about docility of Nigerians. People say they will come and shoot us and this and that. I want to let us know that we are not living. There is difference between living and existing. What you see is a lot of us are just existing, not living. So anybody who thinks he's alive, better think twice, because this is not how we should live. This is not how human beings live. We are merely existing, just like animals in the forest. It's just existence, and that does not amount to living. Thank you very much. So
thank you for your call. Thank you so much. You want to say something on that, Mr. Noski?
I agree 100% with him. 99.9% of Nigerians are mainly existing. We are mainly existing. Only 0.1% are alive in this country. Understand? And if you are existing, you are like an animal, you can take anything. And that's why we are taking anything. Today, we are now hearing of cucumber stew because tomato has become unaffordable. So all we do is to try to adjust. If they push us, we adjust. If they push us, we adjust. We continue adjusting. That's not how to live. We are just existing.
0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of this conversation. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello, good evening. This is George calling from Igondo.
Welcome, George. Let's hear from you in a minute or two.
Thank you. I just needed to correct something. I keep hearing this over and over, which I think is not proper. Well, most times we talk about background, we talk about certificate, we talk about a lot of things, we talk about age, and I want to correct that point. It's not about the certificate, it's not about the age. If you compare the Westerners to how many of them have the certificate, how many of they have these degrees we so-called rely on in this country. My perspective is, if you're good, you're good, whether you're educated or not. I've seen so many educated people committed fraud at their place of work. So why some companies folded up are because of these managers, these GMDs, all these managing directors that have PhD, doctors, and all kind of things. So I've seen aged people that are very intelligent, and I've seen corrupt youngsters. So we should stop all these things every day. The president does not have certificate. That's why he's not performing. His age is not performing. Now that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your call. 0700 903 903 903. Mr. Noske, would you like to chip into what he has said? He has said we should not always, go back to the issue of certificates and academic qualifications. There are people who can perform without them, and there are people who still cannot perform even with them. But I believe one place Nigerians always come from is they try to talk about this as the illegality attached to it.
I understand what Dayo was talking about, because foundation is very, very important. How did one start? That office that you are in, how did you get into it? But the most important thing is the content of one's character, who you are. Understand me? But we shouldn't overlook foundation. Foundation is very, very important. If the foundation is wrong, whatever you are going to do is likely going to be wrong.
Welcome to the recap. Good evening. What's your name and location, please?
My name is Vic. I'm calling from Remote.
Welcome. Let's hear from you quickly.
Okay, what my brother Anosike is saying there is right. Sometime some years ago, in this Chinese company, my wife worked there. You see what is happening there, I can't believe it. I don't want to mention the exact place. So you can see what is happening. Somebody will be working from the morning time to 6 o'clock. They have only one car that someone can use to go and use ourselves. Some people inside that their workshop, we be inside that place and urinate, and if it's kept there, you see the kind of what China is doing to us here. People who are working on that China company, they are slaves. I'm telling you, I will give you my name, give you where I'm coming, I will prove it to you. My wife is around here now. So to go and talk, she learned. For that speaker is not insulting anybody. I've been listening to him. Since BOP, this radio is an institution. Since I discovered this radio, since that I'm living, it stands on that BOP. Whoever is listening to BOP to their life, and come from my state, if people need land from where I came from, I give you free. To give you a station.
You want us to go and build radio station in your state?
Is that?
You want VOP to come and build their radio station in your state?
Yes. My brother, you people is their life.
Thank you so much.
I'm telling you, 2 years, you people are making it. I believe other radios have to stay in there and they're not responding to the word. 2 years. Happy birthday, Jerry.
Thank you so much. 0700 903 903 903. Call me up. Welcome to the conversation. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, Chama.
What's your name and location, please?
Information. This is Jova. Let me complete my thoughts. Information. there's a general network issue.
Yes.
So that's information. So now let me say what I was saying. It is very important from what the last second caller was saying. Certification is very, very important. For you to run anything, especially in a country like Nigeria that is underdeveloped nation, certification is important. That is why people are asking for it. Back to Rivers State is very simple. Fubara is the man in charge. Wike is trying to create an impossible government for Fubara. And it is like Mr. Peter Anosike said that those who are in the local government, they don't have anything they are doing. If they are busy, they will not be there. So there are caretakers. Like I said already, government can never exist in vacuum. No government will exist in vacuum. So there must be somebody running it. As the tenure expiration of those people that were there had gone, caretaker committee are taking care of the local government affairs. Meanwhile, an election proper should be conducted. But if they are making it impossible for the governor to conduct election, Peter Anosike says something there. Some governors don't conduct this election and heaven will never fall. It is the truth. Local government in Nigeria is like something that the governor has in his pocket. The people who were there are loyalists to Wike, and the new governor is now the man in charge. If you are not going to work with him, in as much as I don't even like the system of governance and local government as governors in this country, the man who is in charge is the man that will conduct election for the new local government chairman to be in place. Finally, before I drop, I want to say that the president of this country should begin to get things right, begin to cut down on the cost of governance. Cucumber stew. How long are we going to stay with this? Is it not because things are expensive? People are dying in this country, and we are talking about purchasing of new planes. Somebody will try to criticize the government. That is the work of an opposition person. Peter Obi did the work as an opposition, and people are saying you should not be saying that. What should he be saying? He should be clapping for them to be wasting Nigerian resources. It is meant for the president to retrace and do the right thing. Get things working, insecurity, so that we can afford to feed in this country. Who will stop buying a plain bucket of gari for 4,000 naira? Please, this is unheard of. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Joval. I'm glad you were finally able to get through and share your opinions with us. 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening, madam.
What's your name and location, please?
My name is Emiloko Elopokobale. I'm living at Boshere. You do good, you do it for yourself. Now, first and foremost, I want to thank the management of VOP and all staff working there for giving us right, let me use that word, to know what is going on in the universe, especially in Nigeria. First, in addition, our judiciary are corrupt, most of them, if not all of them, most. See what is happening in the north and in the south concerning the governorship and the emirship tussle. It's corrupt. You can see black and you call it red. These are what happened, what leads us to where we are now today. So I'm just begging, if there is truth, if there is righteousness in a nation, the nation will excel. It's because from top, most institutions, if not all institutions, are corrupt from all to the bottom. See our senators, our House of Reps. You just mention any angle. You just want somebody who can bail us out. And lastly, we are afraid of death. But one day, we shall be rescued, we shall be delivered. If a day the labor went on strike for a day or two, you know what happened with the government? If all of us can sacrifice by not going out for a week, the government will sit tight. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for your call. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. You're listening to the recap right here on the number one station that gives you a voice. This is Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Welcome back to the conversation. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello,
Thank
can you hear
This
me?
Ola from Surulere.
Welcome, Ola. We're experiencing some network issues. Please turn on the volume on your radio set. Can you hear me? Hello?
Well.
Ola, please, you have to give me a call back. Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
Okay. Let's hear from you in a minute or two because of this network situation.
Okay. Yes, number one, on the issue of the debt, the exchange rate is what is making it to look big. If you use 800 to do the conversion, Nigeria debt will be reduced to $71 trillion.
But that's the current exchange rate. Why reduce it?
From 87 that they got. So I'm just telling you, it's not that new borrowings that escalated it to 121 trillion that people are looking at. So if you use 800 as exchange rate, we go back to 71 trillion. So that is about exchange rate. Somebody talks about certificate. The president has a certificate, graduated from the CSU. Everybody has confirmed it. So I don't know why people are still clamoring on what is not true, what is not fact. The fact has shown. You could not prove it in court. You could not prove it even in U.S. court. So I don't know why people still act and still continue to rant about wrong information and continue to misinform people on certificate. The man has a certificate. He works in Mobi as a treasurer. So what else again? Multinational. They will do their due diligence before they will even employ you. Talk less of being a governor, be a senator, be a president. He has all the experience. He said he did not achieve anything in Lagos. That's a pure lie. The man renovated the whole Lagos Island when he became the governor. He's the one that built Kudirat Abiola. All his policy, that's what others state are copy. Lastma, Kai, all these Lamasa. That's what everybody is building on. Go and look at the states that are moving forward. That's what they are using. Loma is his policy. So the Lagos ambulance for emergency is the one that brought it to Nigeria. Rapid response call is the one that brought it to Nigeria. The BRT is the one that brought it to Nigeria. He has so many firsts that he brought to Nigeria. He changed the way of governing. And that is why Lagos State is the leading economy amongst all the states in the country. The debt you are talking about, 400 billion that Alex Oti borrow, is part of that debt as well. So it's not only the federal government debt, including the debt of all the states are added together. Then if you use the conversion rate, you will see that everything is 71 trillion. So that means this government has paid some of our debts. They've paid about $7 billion. Immediately they came on board.
Mr. Ola, the conversion rate, is that what Nigerians are currently exchanging for at BDCs?
That's not what they are exchanging for. I'm just using it to give you the analogy of the exchange rate. If exchange rate go to 2,000, the debt can jump to 150 trillion. That doesn't mean that Nigeria went to go and borrow more money. You understand what I'm trying to explain?
Thank you.
The exchange rate that is showing showing you the difference in the volume of the debt.
Okay, so it's not that, based on what you're saying, even if the debt is 71 billion, it's not too much.
What I'm saying is that the government is actually paying the debt. If not, it will be more than what we have now.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ola.
Profligacy of borrowing more. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They are prudent with what they are doing.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ola. We need to hear from others as well, but I do appreciate your call. Hello there. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Hello, are you there? I've picked your call. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. What's your name and location, please?
Hello.
Hi, what's your name and location, please?
This is Mr. Ejeje calling from Sango.
Welcome, sir. Let's hear from you.
Area. Really, I have been listening to you and Mr. Anosike on the area of Nigerian conditions, both borrowing and the poverty that is destroying Nigerian children here and there. I want to tell you that Nigeria is too rich to be poor. Those that have looted this country, if all the money that they have looted can be returned, Nigeria will not be a debt. In fact, will not even be a debtor to anybody, any country. It's just for Nigerians, if they can be able, let them see how those that have looted this country treasure will return those money. And in addition to the resources that Nigerians have, my dear, the people that are governing this country, let them think twice, because there is God. God is watching them. A time is coming. They will go and meet their judgment. Even if they think that what they are gathering is going to be for their children, how long? Other families, other people, do they not have families? Is there any of them that have two heads? Let us think and understand what we are doing. Because the day is coming. The God that is Sodom and Gomorrah, the God that destroyed the world, the generation, let me say the generation of Noah, and leave Noah and his family alone, will visit this earth soon. Let them go and think. And also, as a retired First Bank staff, I am a retired First Bank staff. Please, let you people also help me to ask First Bank, why are they still paying pensioners that retired in 1998, 15,000 naira at this kind of condition of time? If any of them that is on top, or either the chairman is hearing, let them go and think what they are doing. Pensioners are dying.
Thank you so much for your call, sir. Thank you so much.
God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. God bless you as well. I think we can take one more call before we call it a day right here on the program, so that we can take your comments on YouTube and WhatsApp.
Hello.
Welcome. Thank you so much for holding on. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
No problem. Joma, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you. What's your name and location, please?
Ola from Chicago.
Welcome, Mr. Ola, all the way from Chicago. Let's hear from you quickly.
And my regard to Mr. Anosike.
He's here with us. He can hear you.
I don't know why Mr. Anosike is not yet the chief. As a good man as he is, I think he deserves chief. I don't know. Whenever he wants to go for chieftaincy, you should invite me. Okay, Sherma, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mr. Ola.
Okay. I'm so upset because I always like to listen to VOP, but when some people talk, make me annoyed. I don't want to call, but I'm listening to what you guys are saying. I'm so happy for what Mr. Anosike is analyzing. But the last caller, the man who is saying that they are paying a debt, they are paying this. I'm not sure that man, anyway, don't let me refer to him. I don't know why some people are talking somehow. How can you say that you owe 70 billion and because of exchange, the debt increased? It does make sense? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Come to Lagos. Look, I'm a Yoruba man. When Tinubu is there, when Tinubu is in Lagos as a governor, I know what he did. And I know what we lose in Lagos. Go to Waterworks today. The Waterworks. Is it functioning? The best people we enjoy in Nigeria today, they are military. After Jakonde, nobody do a good thing except the best governor I can choose in Lagos is Ambode. After Ambode, Fashola. After Fashola, that is somebody else. No, you can listen to how people are talking. The way the people are talking doesn't make sense. How can you? No, what Mr. Anosike have said the whole things. If you want to make Nigeria good, bring down all your expenses, the extravagant spending. Let people enjoy. People are hungry. Please, Chairman, I'll see you next week.
Thank you,
Look,
Mr. Ola, for
angry.
calling all the way from Chicago. Please don't be angry, all right?
Bye-bye.
If you're out of the country and you're angry, those of us who are here, what do we do? Thank you so much for your calls up until this point. Right about now, we'll be taking your comments on YouTube and, of course, your messages on our WhatsApp channel, beginning from YouTube. Ife Nkemwobodo says Tinubu has failed and he has nothing to offer. Cynthia Omorogieva says Najuju APC for Nigerians. Laugh and Rejoice Comedy says the day Nigerians know what it means to be a citizen, they will take back their land from the evil people in power. Chilled Pa said docile Nigerians will not do anything as usual. They will complain and cry, then they will adjust as usual. Nothing will change. Cynthia Omorogieva says I never see anything. Isa Ibrahim repeated this administration has nothing to offer. Alexander, I hate poverty, says Wike, your days are numbered. Fubara will show you Pepe. Akiola Olumide Omotayo says good. Okay, I believe this is good evening, Sister Chioma. Is the opinion and views of Mr. Anoske that of Voice of the People station? If yes, it is quite unfortunate. But if no, then I can't take Mr. Anoske serious. He's on his own. Okay, Mr. Akiola, as you do know, Mr. Anoske is not the only political analyst or guest we invite to our different ranges of different programs that we have here, spanning from political to health to every different kind of program we have here. We bring in several different guests and we bring them here because they have a track record of being very good analysts in several different fields, and the views that they offer here are of course their own views and not that of Voice of the People 90.3 FM. If you do listen to us on the terrestrial channel, you would have been hearing the disclaimer playing out now. So yes, just the way he has his own opinions, you have yours as well. So thank you. Additional John says ask him to manage a kitty and let's see if his formula will work. Paul said good evening, is Ola from Nigeria. Additional John, at this God shall we the push responsibility to watch them. Okay, let's move on over to WhatsApp. We have shall we identify leaderships taking Nigerians for a ride in these dispensation? Didn't tell me your name, but I believe this is Ola Adewale. The most important, due to elaborate suffering brought to Africa by their leaders and their selfish interests, Africans will witness massive establishment of religious houses to calm the people and make them accept their fact. Will this be that Africans love God or that Africans love suffering? This is Michael from Surulere. The most important thing to do is to eradicate poverty and then development will come. No matter the development you bring into a poverty area, it has no use but it's just a decorative act. Good evening from Adeyemi Kamoru from Satellite Town, Lagos. They are happy and gloat loudly on radio when Naira loses value. Observe how they become quiet and when Naira gains value. They are the same people who supported Binance over Nigeria. They are the same set of people that said Port Harcourt refinery would not work and Dangote refinery will not refine. When Nigeria work, those people sulk in bulk. What do you call a media that carries only negative news and buries positive stories? Okay, Adeyemi Kamoru, where are you going with this? But thank you for your message. It's duly appreciated. Good evening, Chioma and Mr. Anosike. Although I know this administration will bobo us all the time, when we are all aware that many investors has left Nigeria, Mr. Anosike is very much on point. Only Chinese, Lebanese, Indians can invest in Nigeria because they turn our citizens to slaves, the compromise system, and they go scot-free. Some of these countries also act as a figurehead to our corrupt politicians and the looters of our treasury. Ezekiel from Ejigbo. Okay, Ezekiel, thank you for your message. Evening, Chairman, Mr. Anosike, my journalist of the year, Dayo from Fagba. Adebantu sang that loyalty is cash and carry. Okay, thank you so much for your message. Please, Chairman, help me tell Mr. Peter Anosike that he should dissect and analyze the docility of Nigerians amidst these threats from to use military and police on protesters. He should advise the youth on how to go about this. I'm expecting his view for real. Okay, thanks for real for asking your question. Greetings to all. I think old age is actually at work in the life of the president, but at the other side of it, those people around him, his cabinet, are also the cause of the whole thing. So to me, if Nigerians can't go out to protest, the best thing is for everybody to decide and agree on a day or week to lock up without going out. What? Let's see if the government will send police to doors for people to go to work. Godson from Surulere. Thanks, Godson. So idea get us to be okay. Kamaru was referring to VOP Mr. TX. All right, thank you so much. Are you a spokesperson though? But thank you for your messages. All right, Mr. Peter Noske. You have been called quite a lot of things. Paul on YouTube says, Ola from USA, you spoke well. You have replied the other Ola very well. All right. It is exactly 7 minutes before 6 p.m. and it's time for us to go and return with another enlightening episode of the recap next week. But before we go, okay. Chioma, read my message now. Stop editing my message. Adebantu sang that loyalty for the government is cash and carry, objection and mortuary. Dayo, this is the same thing you said when you called now. Because of our time, we're rushing, okay? You know what I'll do for you, Dayo from Fagbanek? Just make your messages shorter. Besides, you write the same thing every week. Okay, please just make it shorter, switch it up, and I would definitely take your messages. We're voice of the people. We're here to give you a voice. And I mean, if we don't give you a voice, waiting we gain. Mr. Peter Anoske, let's hear from you before we go.
The issue is this. I want to make a recommendation that the Kamaru from Satna Town and Onda from Surundere, they can make a good PAs to Bayo Ononoga. So I want to move a motion that they should go and join Bayo Ononoga.
Do you know Bayo Ononoga personally that you can maybe take them to him or something?
They should go.
Do you know if they know him?
There are those suffering and smiling. They should go and join Bayo Ononoga in Abuja.
When you say suffering and smiling, because of our time, I don't want to drag the issue, but you know that at the end of the day, we're all in this Nigeria, but we're all not seeing the same things.
I cannot defend rubbish. I cannot speak in favor of rubbish. So I don't want to use bad names.
Please don't. Even you are supposed to keep it civil and keep it polite.
Instead, I would have insulted them.
Please don't insult anybody on national radio. Thank you very much, Mr. Peter Anoske. In fact, let me remind you against next week Saturday, to keep it civil, keep it polite. You have to be the first person I'll be telling so that every other person doesn't jump on my head. Thank you so much for your calls. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sending in your messages on WhatsApp. Thank you for your comments on YouTube. I mean, thank you so much. Without you, there will be no VOP. We are Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and we are here to make sure that we give you a voice every day, every time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The recap will be back on your airwaves, same time, same station next week. My name is Chama Innocent. On the other side of the table, I've had Mr. Peter Noske. Like I always say at the beginning of every program, some of you love him and some of you
Peter Noske doesn't
otherwise.
care. Peter Noske does not care.
Okay.
I've achieved my life ambition. Let them go and achieve theirs.
All right, then. There you have it. We'll be back on your airwaves next Saturday. Keep living, keep loving, and do the best you can to make Nigeria better in your own little corner of the world. Thank you so much. You can find Mr. Peter Anoske on Instagram at Peter Anoske77. Have a great evening.